All right, guys. There I'm again. Here's actually the left one. I'm gonna go and show you how good this is wrapped up. Since my preview, I had to do a voiceover since I didn't have my audio set up right. So hopefully you guys can hear me now. So you see, it came out the box. It was a good box, sturdy box. It came in. As you can tell, it's pretty wrapped up. It's wrapped up really good, which kind of surprised me. But they did a really good job of protecting it. So it's foam wrap. I'm just gonna tear the tape off by hand. Start using a knife. Don't risk messing up the finish. So it's wrapped up pretty good. I already installed the right one. There we go. Now I know a lot of guys, some guys complain that they received this with with marks. This one looks pretty good. I don't see any paint runs or anything like that. I do see a mark right there. It's probably from shipping. I don't know if you can see that, but there's a little mark right there. But it's not through there. It's like a little scratch. I could probably buff that off. But overall, got a little bit of white stuff right there. I don't know what that is. But yeah, overall, it looks pretty good. So, getting a good wrap. Did a good job on here on actually wrapping up for shipment. No scratches. The vent opens up like that. Opens and closes. You can take this piece off here. I know a lot of guys buy. There's a new light kit that you can buy to put in here, LED lights. You just take some screws off. This comes off, and you actually put the other piece in here. So to take this cover off, you need to take this off in order to get to the bolts. It comes off real easy. Oops. So I know you can't see it here, but if you look in there, you can't miss it. Then this piece here comes off like that. Now there's a groove right here that goes in a little slot on the side right there. So I'm gonna go ahead and set this down. Now, the one thing that does have this right here, you got to squeeze this tight because this actually goes on here, and as you can tell, it falls right off. Easy fix, just tight, just squeeze it together like that. And now when we put it on there, it'll stay. And if you push this all the way up, it'll line perfectly when you install it. Because I already, like I said, I already installed the right one. I'm just showing some more details about it as you put it together. You can tell this has been painted. The inside's not painted. Real good job on this. I'm not sure how thick the paint is, but it's not bad considering what I paid for these. So I'm gonna set that there. There's a screw that goes in here. I'm just gonna put that on there so I won't lose it. I'm known to lose stuff. Anywho's, all right, so now go ahead and take these two screws off. These are 10 millimeters. Actually, they just put on there by hand, so you can actually just run them off yourself. I was going to show you what it looks like when you first open the box and what you have to do to install it. Bam. There you go. Then if you leave that in there, this stays in there, but sometimes this would actually fall out like my other one did. But you can take these off. I find it easier to go ahead and take these off or pull them back a little bit because when you go to put this on the bar, you don't want that to interfere or hit your bar. All right. But that's mainly how all you have to do to prep it to install it. And the right and the left are identical, just on opposite sides on how you install it. But overall, I'm pretty pleased with the quality. This is good, thick bracket. It's not thin. I mean, that's hard metal right there. So that's pretty good. I don't know if it's stainless or galvanized or whatever. But I'm quite pleased with that. So I'm gonna leave that there. And I just want to give you a more detailed, a better opening of what you expect when you get out the box. So this is the video. I screwed up the audio of the first one. So, all right, guys. I did a test fit everything. Everything fits fine except for the brackets that came with the kit. I mentioned before, a lot of people complained about the screws. I'm gonna show you these in a second. So what I've seen in the reviews, a lot of people complain about these weren't long enough, but I don't think that's the issue. The issue is these do not meet up. So I don't know if I have to actually try to bend this, which I probably can get away with, but from looking at it, I may just have to go and go to the plumbing section or the electrical and they make brackets similar to these. However, I'm thinking the problem is probably right here. So see how this is bent? So this is probably made for a smaller, see that? So really this bend here should be about right there. So I'm gonna see if I can fix that with some pliers and see if that works. If so, that would save me a trip to Home Depot. If not, I'm about to go to Home Depot and actually get one, because this is I believe this is 1 1/4 inch. So, but I'm gonna try to see if I can bend this and see if I get a better fit. So let's check that out. All right, guys. So what I did was the bend was down here. I actually put the bend up here. So I flattened it out, then bent it up here again to right here, which made this fit the hole. So I can get this around here now and close that up to where the bolt will go through. I don't know if you can see that. I'll probably zoom in and edit, but so now that will fit around there. I could tighten that up, and that will keep that tight. So we'll see if that works. So I'm gonna leave that on here. Well, actually, I'll take it off real quick. So now I'm gonna go ahead and put this on. Now the way you put this on is a little tricky. So bring it in from the bottom like this, all the way over, and then up, then over this way. So keep picking the bottom first, because I had a problem with this when I first tried it, because the brake pedal was in the way. But I found if you do it this way, then once it's up there, push it that way, and it'll fall right in there. Now, what you also want to do is line up the bottom. So there's some grooves down here. You can tell when you're. This one's a little tricky, but it'll pop. I have to wiggle it around to get these. It was a pain at first. It was frustrating, but keep fooling with it. There we go. All right, so now the top part up here is with the bar, and these two grooves, there's two grooves down here. You'll know what I'm talking about when you see it. That go on there. Now, this piece goes underneath, and the bolt will actually go through the top from the bottom, and then you'll put the, let me show you. So this will come up from the bottom up this way through the top, and then you put the nut, and this on the other side. I prefer it that way, because if I turn it the other way around, this screw here will be pointing down out the bottom. And I don't know if I like the way that looks, so but I can always change it. So we're gonna put this on. Then this will run down underneath. And here is, let me get it back in there. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and, once I get that on there. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and put this top one in first. Now, this piece goes in from the inside, the glove box. So I'm gonna hold this. I'm gonna open the glove box. And as you can tell, it's plastic, but you'll find the holes here. Just push those through. And there those are right there. Now remember that foam I told you about? So I'm gonna put a piece of foam right here. I'll just tear it, no big deal. I'm just gonna put that there just to give some protection to the actual bar. And like with most things, I'm gonna put this on. See that? And plus you worry about the vibration. So now I know some people might think, well, once you put some Loctite on here, I'm not gonna do that right now, because when I show you that piece, the piece that these are connected to, but the bolts are connected to is plastic. So if for some reason I need to take this off, which I probably will during the summer, so the foam's gonna make it a little difficult to put this on. Get this started with one hand, but when I get started, one more here. There we go. I'm gonna put these on and leave them a little loose for now. Just tighten them just a little bit, keep it snug. So I'm gonna show you why in a second. All right, so that's on there. Now I'm gonna be able to move it still a little bit, because I want to make sure that this bottom part is lined up with those grooves of the bar. And I'll show you the other one, but you want to line those up. So now I can take this bracket and move it up to where it lines up with that hole. And from here, go ahead and run it through. And of course, not to fool around when you get it fit. There we go. So there we go. So that one's in there. Make sure you use the washer. So I don't know if y'all can see that. Apologize. So I'm gonna bring this over this way. That'd be better if you can see. All right, so see how that comes through? So for me personally, I'd rather have this part here. I'm gonna put the washer on there that came with. Make sure you use a washer, and this does have a nylon bush in there to keep it from coming out. Now if you notice, you can rotate this a little bit to line this up with the, but once you get that tight, no, I got that on there. So I can close this up because I don't need to get to the back of that. And from here, I can move this around and tighten it up. So I'm gonna go ahead and pause the video real quick, go and knock that out and show y'all the next step. All right, guys. So this bolt here, or this nut here, is a 13 millimeter, and the bottom of this is actually a 5 millimeter Allen. So let me get my 5 millimeter. I'm just gonna tighten this bottom one up. The reason I'm gonna tighten this bottom one up, because once I move it over as far where I want it, making sure that it's still lined up with those notches. And just tighten this puppy up. I just want to tighten this up enough to just get this to flatten on the bottom side, and I'll show you. Give it a second. Oh yeah, that's not going anywhere. There we go. And let's move over here to the get a better view here. I'm using my tripod now, guys, so I apologize for shakiness. Okay, so now we have, get my light over here. So now we got these two 10mm to tighten. And I do have a socket, but unfortunately it's not a deep. Well, I could use to tighten it up a little bit. I'm probably gonna replace these with some 10mm that had the nylon on it. So that way, don't worry about that backing out. Don't you hate when you misplace tools? Knew it was right here somewhere. All right, so now I'm gonna go ahead and tighten these up. I'm gonna tighten these up to their firm. And it's not going anywhere. Now there's a small gap here, and you can probably move this over this way a little bit, but I'm gonna see how that cap fits first. So I didn't tighten that too much because I want to see how this fits. And basically this goes over. Oh, okay, so there's a groove here. So you got a little piece here. It needs to go in that slot and it closes over just like that. Now I know some guys complained that it didn't fit right. Like there was a gap here. Well, that's because you have to have this on just right to where you notch these two notches on the bottom, and you see like a. I'll show you the other one I haven't put on yet, but it's a little groove where you can see where the bar sits in. So that has to be lined up, and that looks pretty good. So I like where that is, even though I know I could probably move it over just a little bit, but I think that's fine. So from here, I'm gonna take this off real quick. So this comes off. You gotta pull this forward because you get that little lip there that goes in that little slot. I didn't notice that at first, but I'm glad I saw that because I wondered why it wasn't going on. So I'm gonna make sure that these are tight enough, and don't over tighten them. So once it stops, you want to just quit right there, because if not, what you'll do is you actually bust that plastic piece on the inside. Because remember, these are on the back side, these are attached to plastic. So you don't want to do that. So as soon as it's on there, it's not going anywhere. Notice I put this foam here because I want to protect that. That's pretty good. The bottom's tight like I want it. And me personally, I decided to put, well, I'll show you that in a second, but let's go ahead and put this back top piece on. So I'm gonna turn this around. So I'm gonna open this up, and we have this piece right here. So this is what we're gonna actually screw the screw into. So I'm gonna go ahead and, put that on, and it fits on there with no problem. And I'm gonna look in here. I don't know if you guys can see that. Actually, get some light. But see how you can see the hole in there? You can actually see the bolt. That's perfect. So let me turn this light off. So I'm gonna go ahead and, oh, where did the screw? Oh, here it is. All right, and there was no washer on this, so I'm gonna go ahead and put that in there. Once I find a hole and get in there. If you guys have got a lot of kids, don't have a problem with this one. All right, I'm gonna try to get that in there without dropping it. Using my left hand, I'm right-handed, but there we go. It's in there. Get it started. Okay, so I got it started. Just gotta wiggle around. The one good thing I like about this one, is it has a Phillips. You can use it looks like a 10 millimeter, or just a Phillips head. So I'm gonna go ahead and use a Phillips, tighten that up. Once again, you just want it tight enough to where it's snug, and stop there, because remember, everything's plastic. Go ahead and close that up. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and remove this for a second, guys. All right, so there she is. I probably could have done it in like 15 minutes or so, but I was gonna show you guys. So everything fits pretty good. All right, guys, just got done putting the left one on, and this is what we ended up with. Sorry about the mess over there in the garage. It's raining outside, so but I couldn't wait to get these on. Dude, they came out looking dope. I know young kids don't laugh at me saying dope. I know that's an old term, but $96 I think I paid for this plus tax. Free shipping. Got here early. Everything works on it. The paint came out perfect.